with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order with everyone present. First item on the agenda this morning, Barb, our Conservation Director, with some conservation updates. Good morning, Barb.
Good morning. Just wanted to let you know that we finished a couple of big projects for the Cinderella Wildlife Access. The project was stream bank restoration, and so it was the second half of the stream that's been completed. So on the county-owned property, the entire trout stream now has been restored. That's called Casey Springs. And we've been working with the DNR on that project. And so fish habitat covered that. Plus we had federal DARE TU funds. And then there's a little horseshoe that comes into the stream, kind of leaves the county property and goes on a private and then comes back in. And so the local trout anglers were generous and supported the project and helped with matching money, but they also funded that private landowner's little horseshoe portion. So that entire stream section is now complete. And then we worked with U.S. Fish and Wildlife. He had a monarch grant. And so last week, the entire area was frost seeded. So with a high quality pollinator mix. Then another project that's completed now is the wetland on the dry run greenbelt, which is located just below Wicks Construction on so that's county owned property. And this wetland will capture runoff and sediments, and those will and pollutants. Those will be deposited within the wetland. It actually has a unique structure to it. So water flows and curves around back and forth and makes the deposits before it goes into the dry run creek. So the design element for this is to provide flood protection to the city of Decorah and the Upper Iowa River and our future trail infrastructure downstream. And the local ag land will also benefit from this. So dry run creek's pretty flashy when it comes to flooding, and so the idea is to hold that water. And so that project's been finished up. And again, U.S. Fish and Wildlife came in, worked with our staff, and provided all the prairie seed for that. And so that's been seeded also. So that project is complete now. So the Conservation Board met on Thursday and they accepted the bid from Skyline Construction for the next big project, which will be the stormwater control basins in the dry run greenbelt. Again, there are 5 structures, 2 of them below Wicks, 2 of them below John Deere implement, and then there'll be 1 on Nesty Valley Recreation Area. So those 5 structures have been designed already by Shive Hattery. RC&D has worked on both the wetland and these basins. They've been administering the grants, and so they've written the grants and now they're administering those for us. So we're pretty excited to have those projects going, and again, those will be holding water and controlling somewhat of that flash flooding that happens on dry run, and providing protection to the city of Decorah and the Upper Iowa River and our future downstream trail infrastructure. So
if I may ask, for those like uneducated people like me, when you say structure, I think like dam or building type thing, but this is more like pond type
Well-
situation? Or how, just, if someone driving by, what would they see?
Well, it'll look, like a small dam and, they're designed to hold the water for about a day and then slowly release it. So,
A detention basin.
kind of a detention basin, correct?
Those kind of run, part of those run right alongside 9 there, and part of that, where the beard farm is in that area, below the.
Yeah.
It's gonna be up behind, first one starts just a little Wicks and John
Okay,
here,
up
there's
Oh,
further.
Yeah, west of the
one,
beard
two,
barn.
I know all of them, I rode them all with my mini bike when I was 10.
A long time
Used to be
ago,
all pasture. There's,
Well,
there's,
it's old pasture still, but,
Yeah.
we used, REAP grants to purchase those properties. The one behind Wicks was purchased from Gordon Hunter. The second property just over from that, from Cameron Harris. So the Harris and Hunter tracts combined are a little bit over 100 acres of old pasture. And those long-term plans are the bike trail will go through there, and we're working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife to restore the habitat and put in high quality prairie for the rusty patch bumblebee, which is an endangered species that's found there. And then at Nesty, we've been doing restoration with the Fish and Wildlife, but that one, the structure will be much larger because there's more water coming into that one. And so the dam, it will look like a dam on that one because it's quite high. The difference on the Nesty one, the bike trail will go below that, where the ones, the 4 that go through the Hunter and Harris track, the bike trail will actually go over the top of each one of those structures, so it'll be dual purpose. So those deep ravines were going to be challenging for anyone trying to bike or hike. And so now we'll have structures there for us to be able to go across and get those segments of the bike trail at least walkable for right now. And in the future, when we get all of our connections in, we'll that infrastructure will be there and ready.
roughly how many acres are you, runoff are you holding back?
Well, sorry, I didn't put that up, but I know Nesty is over 100 acres. So
The bottom itself is. Or the-
the structure will be controlling the
100
100 acres of watershed.
there's probably 160, there's probably between 250 and 300 acres. 300 acres, maybe the 4 will be, but then you got water coming across from the highway through culverts too.
Yes.
But there ain't much on that side, but all goes to most of that slopes to the north. So you'll have highway runoff, turning off, yeah. I'd say 300 acres roughly
Thank you.
for them 4, just off the top of my head.
That'll make a huge difference on the flash flooding of that, because that is really a volatile.
Yeah, 2017 was pretty major flooding. In fact, it caused us to have to reroute the trail. It took out a portion of the railbed upstream. So anyway, we've been working with, like I said, RC&D and the city of Decorah on these projects. And
When will it start?
as soon as we get a contract signed, the Conservation Board just approved the bid, and now they'll go to a contract segment. They'll start right away once contracts are signed with doing tree removal. In this area, we have threatened bats. And so trees have to be removed by spring before the bats come back. So,
That's April 1st, isn't it?
yes. So we've got a little window of time that they have to do their tree removal. That'll be the first segment. And then all the construction has to be done by next year, I think, December of next year. So. Anyway, I wanted to give you a quick update of what's going on so those are our current projects that they have completed and where we're going next. So
It's a lot of great work for the county.
That's a lot.
I guess one other, we're submitting a grant this week for fish habitat, and that grant will, if funded, will dredge Walden Pond. Last year, we noticed that the pond had been slowly leaking and the outlet has rusted through. And so we received a fish habitat grant to replace that. But as it kept draining, it's like, well, why don't we go ahead and remove the sediments while we have this opportunity? Because once we fix that outlet, you can't dredge anymore. So while we're draining it down, we'll hopefully get some dredging money and extend the life of the Walden Pond also. It's 70 years old, so with those repairs, hopefully we'll get another 70. Thank you.
It's good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, Mike Kueny, our county engineer. Got a scratch on a couple of these for today.
Yeah, the basic problem is not being posted anymore. The other one, it's not due on the first, as I had originally thought, so it didn't get done this week. Let me keep one of those. And then it's just county meeting preliminary agenda. Have you look at it? Right. So it just runs through the report. Since the last meeting, Bridge 5 is open. Some erosion control measures have left to be done. Silt fencing is being installed as we speak. Bridge 208E check plans have been submitted. The same as last week. My staff member and I never had a chance to coordinate for a submittal, so what'll happen today. Study 14, centerline striping to the roadway from Spillville to Ridgeway is done. The fog line striping will wait until spring. Shoulder didn't quite get finished. They're touching it up, I think, today. I don't know if they're out there or not. I have not checked. Subdivision, that's the same as last week. Negotiations is the same as last week. FEMA events, we found out that at least on the Homeland Security side, that there was a statewide grant granting of 6 additional months for our submittals. That's kind of important for our burn pile. So that's kind of good news. We're working to verify that with FEMA at this time. Ridgeway shop. Most improvements are constructed. We're still looking to take bids on the wall insulation and roof. So, and the SS4A is the same as last week. And the winter maintenance should have been crossed out this week. Sorry about that. Still working on the rail car bridges. I have a couple of discussions today. Set up again this week. I'm going to be working with Fillmore County to get some discrepancies for their memorandums of understanding. I'm working hard to get the City County meeting straightened out. I'll be gone to ICEA conference, and then I'll have another a requirement for, as an owner of underground storage tanks, I have to do some requirements there. So I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm trying to get that December 12th meeting ironed out. So please let me know if there's something else you want on that agenda.
One quick thing, Mike, on the issue of time cards, you might want to mention software options.
Yes,
So
the
people
idea
are
is,
thinking in that line.
yes, the electronic timesheets is what we're talking about putting on the agenda. So yeah, it's just, that was printed and I had the same thought as you did.
Yeah.
So didn't want to reprint for that. Thank you, Steve. And then I went and visited with the crews at Ocean and Ridgeway on Friday. We are looking for a sign man, and we have received 3 applications thus far, and applications are due by December 6th for a new sign man. I have big hopes for what that sign man can do beyond just signs.
Do we have smoke detectors in all our shops?
That I haven't even thought about.
Just went on.
Oh, you're talking about for
Yeah.
landfill? We would have needed some kind of remote system to warn the fire department.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, that's what
I
we got,
mean,
like,
it's something to.
You know, we have catastrophic loss.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
Gotta update the public so they know what you're talking about.
Landfill.
the landfill shop burned to the ground, and are wondering if we would have had some equipment that the fire department would have been alarmed for that, would it have saved the shop? I have not thought about that.
But the way that one.
Just
There
now,
was no, that one.
Yeah,
So-
They didn't get a report until over an hour after the fire ignited.
I don't know much about it,
But
so,
it was early morning. It started at 4:58 in the morning.
oh, wow.
Not too many people living next to it.
I know a couple people driving to work, took a couple pictures on the way to work, and it was pretty awe-inspiring.
10 years ago or so, one of the neighboring counties lost a shop, road shop. And that was when we added insurance. We didn't even have insurance to cover our contents in some of the shops. So we did add insurance to help cover that. I mean, we still have deductible and things to worry about. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
they lost a lot of equipment that they just,
Yeah, they're
Taxpayers have
working with us to borrow and
get him.
yes, on that.
That's something that we should go over, the contents and the buildings for each one of the districts. Because they're all over the place where they're insured.
So you're saying that the insurance that we have for the different shops are,
Yeah, contents in on this.
Contents, the building itself.
Machinery.
The
I
value
know
of
the
building.
machinery is all accounted for because
Yeah.
Yeah,
staff
that.
is on that.
But inventory of tools, rack
Yeah.
shelving.
A lot of that's
there's just
already done.
So much of that is in there. They
I
were,
think just next year, since we've kind of focused on gotten the actually the big equipment. We cleaned up. We got all the old equipment off and the new ones, make sure they're on. We kind of got that cleaned up over the last couple of years. We've gotten rid of some buildings that were being double covered and so on. So maybe next time we do an insurance renewal, we should look at some of those other contents coverage for
Yeah,
small things.
Because
I'd have to work with staff, but I think a lot of that stuff is, I mean, we've been nailing it down
Yeah.
in the last
and especially
6
value-
months.
and equipment valuations because of the increase in prices and make sure that we're current with the value of our used equipment.
Maybe I can work with a couple of you, and make sure that I'm understanding, because I feel like this is already done.
And give it to you, because
I-
when you go through the whole insurance policy, everything's grouped together for the county. So all of a sudden you have a maintenance shop here, and then you got conservation in there, and then you might have a maintenance shop down here. But when you look at all the coverages, it's all over the place.
I would like to have a 2-person meeting again anyway, so.
Me and Dan could.
And I don't think it's pressing because we are going to try to make a change, but by next March, April, when we're doing the next renewal, we just want to make sure it's.
Yeah, we're the one that worked on it before, so.
I just feel like we're probably pretty darn close already, so But just make sure. So let's kind of, I'll look for a setup of a 2-board person meeting.
Yeah.
And get that ironed out.
I'd say budget first, then worry about that.
Kind of one way.
And then I was going through last week trying to make sure that I followed up on everything, from last week. One of you had asked me about driveways or problematic waiting on 348. Can't remember who that was. Was it you? But that's not your district. This was last week. No.
The one where it was cut and treated, like the cutting for the bridge on the road was cutting into the driveway.
That was 375th. That was Christopher. Mike Christopher had called you about that.
I have not gone and looked at that, so I need to go do that.
Yeah, that was, he did that. That was from the public.
Yeah.
That was public.
I just wanted to ask about that. Otherwise, as far as I know, I've dropped everything else that was discussed last board meeting.
Come up with that solution for W14 North.
I heard it was a pretty poopy situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know much about it. I think staff's out there right now looking at it. So
What are you talking about?
what I heard, here's what I heard is that there was a farmer who was hauling manure and it dropped all over W14 just south of Ridgeway.
So, no, I was just talking about the quality of the road, that it's so rough.
Going north.
Going north on Ridge.
Yeah, the farmers' complaints up there.
Oh,
I brought that, yeah. They've been,
Where it hasn't been reached.
two farmers.
where it hasn't been redone. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Snap axle or,
That's what I thought you're talking about.
No.
Someone,
was that on the new one?
yeah, it just happened over the weekend.
Brand new pavement.
Brand, and there's manure on it. It's,
Who gets billed for that?
I don't know.
That should be the farmers.
I
You should have.
I don't know who it was. I don't know anything on it other than I found out about this morning at about 9 o'clock.
Hence the poopy situation comment. Now it makes more sense.
Yes.
You power wash that then?
Hey, it hasn't been painted yet, so probably need to. The fog lines out.
Get the fire department Ridgeway to come down with a tanker truck.
It's greasy.
Yeah, I don't know. So
farmers.
That pavement, going back to Mark's original comment, pavement from Ridgeway to the pole line road.
Yeah.
Paved, and then north of the pole line road is some gravel, but that section doesn't seem that old. It seems-
2002, wasn't it? They sent a text out. You sent a text out last week. Was it 2002 or 7 that it was paved? The north part of it.
I'm going Ridgeway to pole line of W14.
oh,
The section they're
I
not.
think it was 2002.
yeah. I don't. I have to look.
Somebody sent me a text.
Anyway, maybe a
I did-
little
I- it
update
was-
on the history of it and
Yeah,
questions would be and how many years we're out there.
because I know there's a few of those spots are just, I mean, nobody will drive it in the wintertime.
Right now, it's not 5 years.
It is in the 5-year plan, and I'd have to. I mean, it's in my crosshairs
Yeah,
to put in the program, but it's just
yeah,
if I can't get federal funds for it, I mean,
yeah, no.
getting enough local money is going to be really hard.
Or
So
if there's some way got the tile part of it, or it's really to just see if that would help. Just take a mile section and try it. Put tile on an angle down underneath. They tiled down 10 inches before to take the surface water. Well, that ain't gonna do nothing. You gotta get the water out from underneath the road. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I don't know why they
Is
wasted.
there any
that
way
time.
to mud jack or fix just the really bad
But you
spots?
gotta,
Yeah, but then
if you don't get the water out from underneath it.
yeah, it keeps the soil's bad.
Even frost. The frost will even on.
Yeah.
How many rail cars would it take to?
I know rail cars. Those are single span is all I want to do on that.
Yeah, that have to be, it'd have to be tiled to get the water out, one shelf.
So there should have been more base work done
Done,
probably
probably
before
what
the
they did.
last paving.
Should have been
That would've-
tiled, should have been tiled right down the middle.
That would have been ideal maybe, but
Yeah.
maybe no, I
Yeah, I
wasn't
don't know.
there, so.
I think it's that blue
Blue clay,
blue pan clay or whatever, yeah, some of that. Yeah, it's just,
I hear it's hard to work with.
that's wet up there, it's really wet. Yeah, really good for that.
Are you planning the 6th county meeting to end at 8:15?
Yes, and then eat
So that-
lunch if you want, so everyone be responsible for their own lunch, so.
The other thing's kind of different.
But that's just a rough draft. If you have something else, let me know. But have, like I said, it'll be updated, be more readable. We just have this one ideas out there and.
I just thought the 6th county meeting folks, especially supervisors, but engineers too, might be interested in that resources study. So just, do you have time for that with your sign policy and the time cards?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean,
And I'll
Don't
bring enough
they-
brochures,
who's that?
and I'll bring enough of the brochures.
Okay.
You need any help on any of that?
Right now, no, but
Let me know.
I just, it'll be my first one that I'm setting up, so it might be, not as smooth as some of the other people have done. so
It'll be fine.
it'll be- But yeah, it'll. Anything else for me?
What's the date, time and place?
Yeah, it is, Thursday, December 12th at, Kingpin, bowling alley.
10 o'clock.
And 10 o'clock will be the meeting, 9:30 to 10, we have rolls. Rolls and coffee.
I do. Barb gave us those. Oh, I know.
I was looking on the expense thing, the Farner asphalt was 32,826. Is that the total cost of the
Striping of New Ridge.
32,000?
Yeah.
It ain't cheap.
So we held off with the striping on all the roads this year,
Yes.
with the intention of doing all of it next year.
Not all of it next year, but
Yeah,
the reason for that was that it's still in good condition because we didn't scrape and do everything we did for the dry and warm winter. Just trying to make it farther.
I was coming back from Calmer last week at night. And I know I was on Highway 9, it wasn't a county road, but I was sure thankful for that fog line on the right.
Yeah.
So if there's any way that we can always do that, it really helped getting home at night.
He, I think, does not paint the fog lines. I had no interest in doing that. This year I was looking at cut the striping, we cut the rock down. Paid for a couple of things, so I don't anticipate doing that this year. Just
Yeah,
fiscal year, so.
thank you.
All right,
That's good.
thank you, Mike. Next up, miscellaneous item, approved hires for recycling.
We are just approved the hiring of Michael Linderbaum as the driver position out there. We offered it to two people. One person has declined. But we're really happy about the one that has accepted the position. So we just need to have a motion to approve.
Where did he come from? Or-
Well, he's been working at Hall Roberts and he has a small farm
Oh,
also. Super nice, very talented, does his own mechanical work and, has a CDL.
I move to approve the hire.
Just before you do that, I think you wanted to include in the recommendation to, when you hired Evan, that it was to be determined.
Yes.
So you wanted to make that official for his interim supervisor position that start.
The 3rd of December, and likewise, we're now gonna have the driver start on the same day, so they can kind of both go through orientation together.
3rd of December.
3rd of December, it's a Tuesday, I believe.
And you said Mike, what?
Linderbaum.
Do you want that a combined motion?
I think that's.
Okay, thank you.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the hire for recycling and with the December 3rd starting date. Any further?
For Evan and for this new hire.
Yes. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
And that,
So are you gonna leave the other position open until?
we will, it sounds like we may have other, see what happens with the landfill and people needing other employment until we get,
What was the reason why the other one? didn't take?
money,
Did they-
Wage
Money?
and break.
money, yeah.
We were very, very pleased with the quality of applicants that we got.
And there are other applicants we may look at, but we maybe better wait until we see what the landfill situation is. For the winter anyway, before we
Yeah, they may
hire
have,
somebody else.
according to TJ, they may have available labor that they would be happy to put down there to help us out in that situation. So that would be
yeah, we
better
don't have,
utilization.
without the shop there, they won't. be
Yeah,
able
because
to
they won't be doing,
do any inside maintenance work and stuff.
since they don't have an inside.
Yeah, we've
3 weeks. next
Offered
no
that.
weather.
There's a 40-foot shipping container down there, which is housing relatively nothing. So we offered that to go back out as a temporary storage for them out there.
Still need to keep the
They
lubricants.
don't have anything out there.
Once they get all their new tools purchased.
To put, there are no tools in.
So we will, probably Steve and I'll run out after the meeting. And get them to empty out that container so we can move it out.
Thank you.
If we're not using it, we might as well put it to use.
Yeah, we looked at the road department, but in interim, I think landfill has a greater need for it than we do.
They have pretty good working relationship
Yeah.
between the two departments.
So,
So it's nice that we have that option.
Okay, consent agenda.
We talked to this OK Well service at Wellington,
Yeah.
1,600 and something now.
Yeah, the initial bill we paid was not the bill, that was the quote, and so. And
Oh,
Doug had
that's because
submitted it thinking it was the bill, but then,
since the well is so much deeper, it
Yeah.
cost.
Okay.
That makes
That was the
sense.
500-foot well.
Well,
So, filled up.
the initial bill, that was an overestimate, so we canceled that previous payment, they didn't that check back in.
Oh,
So this is the new payment for what they actually did.
So this is the total. amount.
This is the total amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but that was on top of that, that would.
No, it was, this is replaces it. Anyway, it was miscommunication between Doug
No, that's-
and the contractor, and I think they had overestimated what it would take, and so.
At first now they look, I thought we paid that last time.
Yeah. Well, that we did get that other check back and we were able to avoid that.
The total cost of that.
$1,600 and
$99.51.
so basically $1,700. But that was the well that we presume was several hundred feet and it was 500 and some feet. So
Yep, correct.
That's why it
You
was-
get money back on that.
well over the estimate.
Yeah.
$700.
Yeah.
$750 back.
What's the appropriation? We're changing 30,000 over to the SWCD. What is that one? SWCD.
Soil and Water Conservation District, yeah,
That's their budget.
the annual budgeted amount.
Yeah.
25,000 goes to the helping support the administrative costs of the districts, so helping to pay the staff business on, and then the 5,000 gets put into an account for repairs and maintenance on the rural watershed.
That's money that then they help bring in the grants that are millions of dollars.
And to just, if that watershed been in place, 20 years or whatever, if any of those sites or dams fail, we've got over $100,000 saved up in that account now by putting a little bit each year in case something goes bad.
Some of those are in Bear Creek, there's massive structures.
What else do we have for consensus?
So minutes, claims, and the VA monthly report.
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion is second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Is there signed copies somewhere? Steve, you want to start one and then? hand it down?
I don't know.
Well,
Have all the
I got a
guys.
motion. I got a
what
motion.
should we do it before?
Okay, Mark's gonna start right here.
Here's this.
Do we have any committee reports?
We have a CSS meeting on Wednesday. Just in time for the holiday.
Got community action tonight in West Union or online. I went to the presentation in Calmer the other night for this, Winneshiek County's Natural and Historic Resources. If you haven't had a chance to see the presentation, there's no more presentations. However, these flyers are available, and on this QR code, you can click that and get the full report. So it'll always be available, and it is on our website too.
Out with HHS, and it looks like they definitely are planning on taking the space. We have to change a couple doors inside there just for the privacy. So the ones in the office area, we're gonna have that put on the other side. The other one, I think we'll take that out and we'll just move it so it can be all sealed up. Locks on both sides. And the privacy they need. But it shouldn't take much to do.
How much space are we left with now?
How much?
How much?
No, maybe none.
That's, I'm really concerned about that. When you go out to that, their offices out there, there might be a couple of cars in the parking lot and two or three people inside the building. And to give them all of the space inside that building seems like absolute land grab overkill.
And that's one thing that we're trying not to do. The problem is where that one conference room is, that's the one that they really need to utilize for the conferences because it has the most privacy.
Right.
That's where that comes in.
So the big conference room in the front?
No.
No.
Oh,
Where's the
Right
first
back,
one?
that's the lunchroom.
in the back corner back there.
Well, not the corners.
Yeah.
Right,
The one on
By the
the
back door.
east side of the door,
That's was used as a
double office,
Yes.
yeah.
Other office space back there, we can maybe retain that one yet. That door and proposed,
Across the opening there.
yeah, from the lunchroom right across the wall there. That way, that would seal that. Opening one. Just utilize the same door.
And they would still bring in through the door off the lobby into the main section right there, and that would preserve the far end for our eventual use that we anticipate.
And
Closest to the front door, where we have that one tiny little conference room, one office, and that open space in the back.
No, they'd be taking.
They want to
that.
take all of that, plus the center section. They're leaving the center section.
The only section there, not room they wouldn't be taking is the door. When you come in the door from the north, would be the one on the right.
Again, that is a lot of space. There was.
But we get them in there and then we can see what they do or don't, I guess. The main thing is to get them in there.
I tried pointing out how many cubicles were in these other spots and how many they have to go along with the offices, and I think they're overestimating the square footage that they need to at this point. But they don't realize it until they get everything moved in there. Some people just can't see.
And them off in that office on the right-hand side coming in that door from the north is not handicap accessible, so you gotta be careful who goes in there. Because that is not handicap accessible.
Yeah, on the back side.
Yeah.
And the backside, yeah.
But
That limits you to who you can, or who can use it.
Oh, it's the one that we would retain.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very.
I mean, that limits,
very limited.
because it's not handicap accessible, so.
It's basically an administrative office that the public would be going.
It wouldn't be a public, yeah, just an administrative office.
Estimated move-in date.
Don't have it.
They still gotta get their IT stuff all. Then they gotta make that's, yeah,
That's their major. They don't
because they
have
do
an
not
IT
have an IT
They do
guy,
not have an IT guy.
so they're borrowing one from another entity to try to get this here going to get it done.
So they took pictures of the room where the ICN comes in and all the hookups and all this and that, so they can show it to their other IT guy from the Cedar Rapids office. So they have an idea of what they can move in or how they're gonna move their stuff from the other place and where they're gonna position it in that.
Is your intent then to sell the building out on 52? You want to talk with Andy the next time he's in about starting that process so they know they have a.
Guess we could.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need to put some kind of a fire in there because otherwise they'll be 2026 moving in.
yeah.
Wherever they're going.
Well, they were telling me there's someone interested in that building. I said, well, that's nice to know, but I hadn't heard that, so.
Yeah.
Send them our way.
Exactly.
But we don't want another state agency there that we have to take and subsidize.
No.
No.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
That's another terribly gross unfunded mandate.
Well, we could not have it here. We could have somebody else could.
West Union would be okay.
We'll just mail $10,000 to them. I
That's
guess,
right. That'd be
Instead of furnishing. Yeah,
furnishing how many thousand square feet?
at least it'll be $12,000 less for electric or the home bill.
Yeah.
That's a huge savings there.
We pay more for the phone bill at that one building than we do for the whole courthouse. Well, it used to be the Smith building, but now the new building all together.
Everything put together. Yeah.
Because they were having it, and it didn't matter because of they tried reducing the number of lines they needed, so they transferred more to cell phones, but just to maintain that
line.
that special phone line that goes into that area, it didn't matter how many phones were connected to it. It was like almost $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
One line or whatever they call it. It was some technical thing that.
but the maintenance, I mean, we got monthly maintenance, that's about 9,000 a year, I think there roughly, that's, so you got 20-some thousand dollars a month that just don't, or a year, I mean, that we don't have to do that.
That's without
Just-
any unexpected repairs.
Yeah,
Maintenance.
yeah.
Or
So no, and we gotta plow the snow down here anyway, and yeah, that stuff, yeah. Long, I mean, it's a huge,
And if you can sell that building, at least, I don't have any, I'm not a real estate appraiser, but
So
if you get at least if you get over 250,000, you can use part of it to pay off your other building.
7,000 square foot building with acreage and 250,000 is
It's low.
Yeah.
extremely.
price that would be low.
yeah. You need 6 and 7 would be a little more realistic.
You know, to pay off what you owe.
Pay off what you owe, and other than you got no debt.
The houses are building out next to me are $500,000. so-
Yeah,
And that's,
No acreage.
that's not, no, it's no acreage, it's not that big a house.
All right.
That, the condos are almost.
So that's the, we have to have an actuarial report of our post-employment benefits that GASB is the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, and it's their rule number 75. So we have to do this every other year.
That's a 3875 bill that's on there for.
All right, budget discussion. Do you guys want to go through any of these today, or do you want time to review them?
I'd sooner look at the paper copy first. It's hard to look at them on the.
Yeah.
Fine print. Yeah.
I'd like to wait.
Yep.
Best time to go through these.
It's fine.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody. It's a busy week.
Happy holiday.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Likewise. I've got 24 people coming Thursday to my tiny home. I'm looking forward to it.
That's another reason.
Isn't that been a lot of work?
But then.
Yeah.
I got 24 kids show up.
What's that?
I have just about that many for kids.
Do you really? Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I'll be there.
When did you?
Good morning. Actually,
You
now,
and just the two?
is that
You and the whole family, or you and just the two that you promised?
son? Future daughter, Lori and I.
Oh,
You're not going out there for a wedding, are
No. I don't think so.
you might be surprised when you know.
you? You never can tell. They have a lot of wedding chapels out there.
I would be happily surprised.
The landfill, I think was a rechargeable battery on the radio.
There, I took her.
Yep. So keep an eye on your rechargeable battery
That's
everywhere.
It's quite a video.
Yeah.
There, one of them.
I stopped out.
Once they
Those things are, can be,
Megan knows perfect.
yeah,
timing.
that's why you aren't supposed to throw them in the garbage, because they run over.
because that's what they had at the fire that time and the
Be here in a couple
landfill.
minutes. 4:58.
Rechargeable battery.
All of a sudden, whew, it's just a big explosion behind it, then it kind of goes out. Oof, another one. And then 15 minutes later, the bottom of the garage door is coming out. Everything's totally.
When was the explosion? What time?
4:58.
4:58 a.m. Fire got there at what time?
We got 6:10, I worked through.
By then, it was a total loss. Every tool, everything in a huge machine shed. Everything.
And there is insurance on contents.
We sure hope so.
Deductibles first and then
Oh,
up to a
thinking
certain
about
level,
them
and then you
all
have
the
to
time
pay out of pocket beyond that. What piece of equipment was in there?
Track loader,
Uniloader, pickup,
side by side,
side,
2 tractors,
Oh, that's.
and then the snow plow was parked alongside of it too.
What's that cost?
yeah. So just lucky the wind was to the northwest. The truck is parked
Don't you
between the
think
LP
you ever-
tanks and the
my
building.
Goodness of our hearts.
Yeah, you can just see a little car on the
They'll be
bottom side of the
cold out when
LP
you're working
tanks.
out there.
Yeah, the truck wouldn't have been there.
We'll be working outside.
That would have been a bigger explosion.
Yeah, they heard that.
Because
The
the
office is not very big and they don't work.
main
with some
station
equipment.
spot or building is fine,
Things
and not
outside.
even like smell
So whole
or anything, because it's blowing everything away.
Yeah, it was going.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
And then it-
I mean, yeah, if you had an east wind
Shut us back.
and blew anything over, you could have lost that too.
Here.
Oh, my.
He was gonna get out there.
Yeah, the tank.
He was gonna get out there this morning.
And then- That's and the source of the explosion. Is that-
It's a rechargeable unit for a radio they use, the communication radio was on its stand to recharge, and that rechargeable rechargeable
Yeah.
battery. Lithium-ion batteries.
They find where the
Yeah.
has to go.
So
They go to.
They figure that
900 degrees is what they go
That's
to.
what they can
With
take.
the instant.
So, and then that,
Heat up like that.
I don't know. 900, no matter how big the battery, they go 900 degrees.
and that second explosion was probably the one next to it. Once the first one melted it enough that it went too.
Saturday, Friday morning.
Friday.
Friday morning. I just remember reading on Facebook, landfill will be closed for the day. I'm like, well, that's weird. It's not windy out. Wonder why they closed. And then I got
Exactly what I.
information.
He's like, let's get the.
Got the fire trucks. We're going.
So they need a lot of our
Issue ahead.
understanding and support.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So.
Nobody's there, so.
You have a great day.
You guys later. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just call me.
That's one there.
You guys, thanks again for working on recycling.
You know, the grease
It's
dragger,
wonderful.
Amazing how much.
smoking temperature work there, I mean, nothing but or, you know, I guess they don't want, you know, when it flashed.
They are sitting there, aren't they?
Little sooner.
Not always a bad thing.
Or what would have been left.
For your value, what you're doing, how we.
It's gonna be such a.
Me.
Far away. We look at much as to how it is.
He did mention.
To the point of where
The
the
rate
rate
is
is, the declining revenues and bad choices. It's not working. I mean, when we're at 908,000 on recycling and it costs us $300 for what we process.
Yeah, these sons that.
What's that? A lot of
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Guy has it.
Yeah.
When
Service.
sit next to your bed at night.
Because we got, when we come.
Our loss.